rallies you do?
Yes.
Okay, it's quite interesting. Well, we'll try and see maybe after Parkway GHOne, let's try and get some of Doc's dance moves as well and put it out there on social media so that I know that Doctor can dance. But Doc, how have you been?
It's been so good. By His grace, it's been fine. And you?
Not bad. So, there's so much happening. We're just left with 10 days to a major election in this country. And the conversation broadly, the NDC says things are that bad. And for that matter, there has to be a reset. The current administration, the MPP, well, they say, no. It's not about reset. Anybody who that brings a conversation of reset should not be trusted. And for that matter, it's just a slight and little upgrade that needs to be done. What is the real situation on the ground?
Well, first, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. Let me also express my sincere thanks and wish your cherished listeners, loyal ones. Yes. I'm happy to be here today.
Okay.
The answer is very simple. Yes, we need a reset. Why am I saying so? A reset to the superior economic record the NDC left behind, which has been destroyed completely. What am I talking about? The NDC had the opportunity to make this country from 2009 to 2016.
Okay.
You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the economic record. The economic growth and inflation, just two. And you understand why we think there should be a reset. First, the economic growth. But 2009 and 2016, the average economic growth by the NDC, or registered by the NDC, was 6.5%.
Mm-hmm.
For the MPP, 2017 to the end of last year, 2023, was 4.7%.
Okay.
Let's look at the inflation. For the 8 years we were in power, the average inflation rate was 12.8%. 12.8. The MPP, 2017 to now, is 18.5% year on year. So 12.8, 18.5 means a 44%. When you look at the cost of living index, it means there has been a 44% rate of inflation. It means Ghanaian consumer has been paying more, 44% more, under these people.
Okay.
That's inflation. And when you look at the highest rate of inflation we registered, unfortunately, it was 20.7%. They have registered 54.1% before, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So our 8 years, and their 8 years, on the area of economic growth, we did better.
But they make arguments that,
And
well,
inflation also better.
There were global situations. They talk about Russia, Ukraine. They talk about the COVID pandemic and all of that. That is some excuses they bring in the conversation.
No, you see, you cannot talk about global one. Ours is a different economy.
Okay.
For example, 2007, 2008, when the whole world went through what we refer to as the international financial meltdown,
Mm-hmm.
did that affect Ghana? It didn't, because of the nature of our economy.
Okay.
Talking about the global, we have African countries, about 14 of them, The inflation are below 15%. In West Africa here, I would say that Côte d'Ivoire was not affected by the global issues. Burkina Faso, even Togo. Ours has been self-inflicted. We didn't manage our economy properly.
Okay.
We did not. Yes, there has been a war between Ukraine and Russia. Yes, we're importing some items from Ukraine, but the other countries were also importing from them.
Mm-hmm.
We have not managed our economy properly. That's why there's so much difference between us and La Côte d'Ivoire in terms of inflation and economic growth.
So there's a component that you would suggest locally people have not managed the economy well.
That is correct. I would say so.
But if you say that, in the minds of some people, they'll say that may not be correct, because there have been instances where John Dramani Mahama, they say on the international platform, has admitted that COVID and Russia-Ukraine had an impact on us. And for that matter, we can't isolate ourselves from these situations.
I want to believe that His Excellency Mahama was talking about Africa,
Okay.
not Ghana.
Okay.
That Africa experienced all these challenges because of the COVID-19.
Okay.
He was speaking at the international conference. I was speaking for Africa, not for Ghana alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about conversations whereby you hear the finance minister, current finance minister, and even Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself, the flag bearer, the presidential candidate for the NPP, where he says the economy is bouncing back. They insist the economy is obviously on rebound. Growth rates for first half average some 5%. Inflation has dropped from 54 to 21%. They're asking why reset a good machine, because for them we are on the path.
That's what I'm saying. That
why should we distract that and reset it again?
It is for a reset because the superior economic record that we leave behind has been destroyed.
Okay.
8 years, inflation on the average was how much? As I'm saying, 12.8% for 8 years. Theirs is 18.5%.
Okay.
Therefore, the cost of living has gone up by 44%.
Okay.
Under them. You understand?
Yeah.
You look at the growth they're talking about. If you are growing at 5%, the population is growing by how much?
Okay.
So what's the difference? And if you are growing, it should reflect in the revenue mobilization. When you are not able to mobilize revenue domestically, you have no economy. And because you are not able to mobilize domestic resources, you are unable to pay your debts, your bills. We see it around everywhere. I'm not trying to undermine anybody, but don't we see it around? We have difficulty paying our bills because domestic resource mobilization is not growing. If the economy is growing as they're talking about, it should reflect in the revenue mobilization. And which sectors are they talking about?
Okay.
Which sectors? Manufacturing? Industry?
Okay, let's come to a few specifics.
So we have oil and non-oil.
Yeah.
Which sector or sectors are they referring to?
Okay. Okay. So Doc, let's come to a few areas that the government initiated to more or less correct our economy or give us some boosts. Let's look at planting for food and jobs and the level of investment that has gone in that particular area. Are you enthused with the outcome of that project or that initiative?
It was good policy.
Okay.
I was trying to empower the small-scale farmers to produce more. It was a good policy. is the way I'm sure it was implemented. You know, the small scale, the smallholders, the small scale farmers, the peasant farmers have difficulty in learning the techniques in the modern farming, you know. So if we have combined what they did with small scale farming, if we had brought in public private sector involvement and had brought in commercial farmers, we would have gained what we refer to as factor productivity growth. In economics, it means growth arising from innovation, new ideas, new production methods. That would have led to higher productivity in the industry. Farming is such an important sector. It's a backbone of our economy. I would not fault them for the policy. It was a good policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of the investment that has gone in there, quoting specifics, some 2.9 billion Ghana cedis was spent on the program between 2017 and 2023 alone. And one would like to say, okay, in my area, what was the benefit? You are within the Kumawu Setra from Plains.
That's right.
Area. At least that's where that's where you I'll say your playground, more like it. What did we get wrong in all of this? What is there to show in terms of the impact in that community? Do you see it? Do people tell you? Do people tell you what it is?
No, I mean, in economics, inputs must lead to higher output if there has been some sound management, you understand? But if the outputs were nothing to write home about, then we need to question.
In your estimation, what will sound management be?
Having higher output from the inputs we put in. You talked about 2.9 billion?
Yeah.
Inputs. So much money has gone in. What came out of that? Does it reflect sound management of the sector? I don't think so. It's a good policy.
Yeah.
Encouraging farmers. Farmers' incomes are so low. We all come from rural areas. They're working so hard, but not getting much because we're not supporting them enough. If productivity were higher, their incomes would grow. If the inputs we put in had been used properly, the inputs would have led to higher incomes for our farmers.
Okay.
It didn't happen. We have a difficulty with the food. Look at inflation. Food inflation has been high. If food inflation is higher, what's the implication? So I'm saying that the NDC government in the future will try to add commercial farming, you understand, through private-public partnership, where the factor productivity growth, where innovations, where the new ideas will lead to higher productivity in the sector.
Is there an area you would recommend an NDC government in 2025 look into, perhaps with the investment that has been sunk in there and vis-a-vis the impact is made? Is there an area you would expect a future John Dramani Mahama government to really look into, put a microscope there?
He's talking about
and examine what has happened. If people did wrong,
he's very committed.
They will be taken through the processes.
Don't you hear him talk? He's committed to that.
Okay.
That agric will receive a major boost under his administration.
Okay.
That the farmers who have gone through all the challenges with low incomes all through will begin to smile. Listen to him. He's committed to that.
Okay.
Yes.
And another project that people also talk about has got to do with the One Village one dam. Is that also an interesting policy program?
It was a good public policy
Okay.
that was not implemented. Anything linked to irrigation should be commended
Okay.
because it's the center of agriculture. It will make us able to farm throughout the year. Now it depends so much on the rainfall. If it doesn't rain, we don't do farming. So it was a good policy, but was it implemented? Irrigation should be taken seriously. And if you listen to our flag bearer,
Yeah.
he's talking about irrigation all through. Under his administration, irrigation will be taken seriously. If it means examining the fiscal space to make sure we introduce huge irrigation schemes, I'm sure he will do it because he's talking about it. But it's been a tragedy.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It's unfortunate we are picking the issues one by one, but we have to because we're getting to an election year. The electorate needs to appreciate the conversation and make informed choices. Why the NDC is saying reset and why they believe things are that bad. If I go to the area of one district, one factory, and the figures we have so far, by 2021, we're told the government released some 273 billion Ghana cedis for that project. Is it a case that we have so much money in the system, in the economy, and that some people just come and decide to do anything with it?
But do you believe in that figure? I don't believe it. It might be a mistake. It's too big a figure. How?
Okay. Is it that you're not seeing the output, the results, or the figure is just too outrageous?
The figure is too outrageous. I don't think so. But having said that, say, once again, if the idea was to grow the economy by providing jobs through factories, as they're doing, one cannot say it was a bad idea. But was it done properly? When your fiscal space is so narrow, you are taxing the citizens. You're borrowing money to set up factories at the time when the economy is not doing well. We're endangering the future of the entrepreneurs who go into that. You understand? The macro situation has been so bad in recent years. How do you expect these entrepreneurs, or those who agreed to wait for the 1D order, to perform? We, when we get power, will make sure that the macro economy is developed in such a way that there will be certainty in doing business. Inflation will go down. The economic environment will be so good that entrepreneurs will produce at low cost and they'll be able to make profit out of that.
Okay.
Right now, it's not happening. So it's not working. It was a good public policy, badly managed.
I have a sense of idea. Some of the project that this government intended doing, it was good. But in terms of the actual play on the ground, it was problematic.
Implementation, that's right.
Yeah. So
saying.
In this case, it goes to the heart of economic management.
Sure.
And for that matter, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's name would pop up in this our conversation. He was sold to Ghanaians as a certain individual to turn things around in the economy. 8 years down the line, has that happened?
Yes.
Has he changed the economy?
He's part of it.
Positively or negatively?
It has not worked.
It has not worked.
No. 1D, 1F has not worked, has it?
So
we are witnesses told us.
So what's the problem?
Has it worked?
So what's the problem here?
It's been badly managed.
Is it that
It's
Dr. Mahmoud
management.
Bawumia is not a good economist, as they told us? Or the MPP didn't have a clue of what they were saying? Which is which?
The MPP and himself, all of them. The MPP as a government has not done well, as I'm saying. We say Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia administration. So it's administration we're talking about. All of them. Bawumia is included. But we cannot single out Bawumia alone. Can you?
Okay.
Management is a game that no one person can play and win. Management is a team game. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
We play together. You don't go to watch football and say that they fail because of one person, do you? The MPP has not performed, including all of them. Bawumia, everybody.
Look, I don't know, but have you had the opportunity to work with Bawumia closely when he was at the Bank of Ghana, or you left before he came?
No, I had a hand in his coming to the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
But I recruited him.
Okay.
Yes.
And today, if you put Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on the scale and John Dramani Mahama on the scale, and you have that privilege to rehire somebody to be that herd, the arrowhead for Ghana, who are you picking now?
So Bawumia was a younger man under me as a governor. Okay. President Mahama was the vice president when I was the finance minister. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. One had become president, the other one has not become president. I'm saying that the one who became president has a superior economic record. Haven't I told you that?
Okay.
So what else do you want me to say? That's why we are resetting. A superior economic record has been destroyed by the MPP. So there's a need to reset. I've given all the figures. From economic growth to inflation, we perform better. We understand the issues better. You understand?
Okay.
And one of my principles has been to think through the economy carefully and think through how do we improve upon the economy.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do this to save society? I have a think tank. We've been doing this for years.
Okay.
So the NDC has the experience, the skills to turn the economy around, and it's been done before. The records are there. You understand? The records are there.
Doc, you're talking about records, and I want to shift into the currency.
The currency.
Doc, why are you laughing?
Well,
When I
because
say
I
the
want to drink water. That's why I'm laughing.
Well, if you're just tuning, this is Cup of Tea on Ultimate 106.9 FM. We are also in Takrady as well, Empire 102.7 FM. We're live there, so if you can hear our voice this morning, welcome our Takrady audience on board. If you're also listening to us here in Kumasi, we're welcoming you on board this Cup of Tea on Ultimate 106.9 FM. And as always, we get into topical conversations. And this morning, we're looking at the economy. We've got former finance minister and a key figure within the NDC, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, in our studios here, in person, in flesh, and in body, blood here. And we're engaging him on matters of the economy. He says he supports the reset agenda of the NDC. If he was hiring someone to take charge of this country today, obviously, it's going to be John Dramani Mahama. He's got superior solutions to our problems as we face now. But the CD is a problem, and it is something Ghanaians talk about, and the least said about our CD, the better, because some say no government can ever shore up the value of the city if the structure of the economy does not change. How do we change that after so many years? Because government in, government out have tried. It seems not to work. Is it that we don't have the resources? The commitment is not there? What is the problem, Doc? You've seen it all.
Let me assure my fellow Ghanaians.
Yeah.
The city has seen better days before. You understand me?
I'm listening to you.
Between, once again, 2009 and 2016, the city depreciation was how much? Indeed, there was a time we'll be talking of city going down or depreciating by less than 5%.
Mm-hmm.
2010, 2011, which happened. Under the present administration, the city has been depreciated by over 30% every year. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we say the city cannot be managed. It's been managed well before. And I'm saying that we have the expertise, NDC, to manage the city because we have done that before. Haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to assure my fellow Ghanaians, it is not true that nothing can be done by the city. With NDC in power, a credible public finance program will be put in place to grow the revenue.
Okay.
So that the negative sentiments about the city will be wiped away. In other words, we go to wash the city to be clean once again. Talking about the strategy going forward. Yes, we need to look at our natural resources. These are resources that God has given us. I'm referring to gold and oil in particular. We should begin to increase our stake in all these companies. If you look at oil, which is a recent addition to our economy, 2021, for example, we exported about $3.9 billion so far, oil.
Okay.
And our portion was about $500 million. This has been stated by the former finance minister, Furata himself. He was right. Out of $3.9 billion, ours was only $500 million, about 20% or even less. The same year, we spent $2.7 billion to import petroleum products. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The same sector. So the structural challenges must be corrected to be able to have a strong currency. Also, I'm saying that we should begin to increase our stake in the gold mining companies, in oil mining companies. We should also begin to, years ago, when I was in charge of the Ghana Commercial Bank office years ago,
Okay.
all the mining companies were having accounts there. It was government policy. They should have retention accounts there.
Okay.
They were having accounts there, all of them. There are no more having any accounts in that bank, which is now Ghana International Bank, a UK bank. Can't we make a policy that these companies should have accounts in our bank in London?
Doc, the stakes you talk about us having, is it simple as ABC?
Why not?
Okay.
You are working with me in my country.
Mm-hmm.
You keep your money in banks. Why do you exclude my bank? You understand me?
I'm listening.
There's something to understand. It's been done before.
Okay.
Why can't they do it now? And that will help us strengthen our balance sheet. It will affect our currency also. But these are huge mining companies exporting our gold resources. and not keeping any of the earnings in our bank, but in other banks. Why? So there are so many things we can do to strengthen our currency and to strengthen our economy that we are not doing. I'm saying we should begin to look at all these issues.
Is that a reason the NDC keeps talking about 24-hour economy? Would it change anything about the structure of our economy if this policy is implemented?
It will change.
Okay.
See, 24-hour economy is a public policy that the NDC wants to implement. When people say that it will not work, I get worried. That means you don't understand what public policy is. Public policy is what? A system of laws. System of laws, regulatory measures, and what?
But is the system conducive to support that? A takeoff under an NDC government?
How do you understand policy?
Because people raise all kinds of issues.
You are making power to change the environment.
Yeah.
Why can't you do it? Why are you saying he cannot do it? What's difficult about that? We are importing food, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We are importing food from Burkina Faso, a desert area, importing tomatoes from there. We are importing onions from Niger. We are an import. We are a commodity importing country. It's so shameful because we are not producing enough. The basic issue in this country is that we are not producing enough in anything.
But Doc,
why?
We keep hearing these conversations.
Sure.
We keep hearing
it's leadership.
Highly placed individuals within
leadership.
Government, whether in NDC, MPP, CPP, talk
I'm
about
you,
these.
blaming myself.
But we don't change it.
No,
so
why?
What is the assurance that an NDC government under John Dramani Mahama, where Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, a key figure in that, change that? How would it work?
We are not happy that we are importing food from outside.
Okay.
We're not happy that Ghana is being disgraced outside. We're not happy that we are borrowing every time. And we have a leader who said that, when I come, join me to change the narratives. And you are saying it cannot happen. Why?
Nana Akufo-Addo said we shouldn't trust John Mahama because he's a flip-flopper. I don't know if you've heard that.
I haven't heard it.
Well, he says John Dramani is a flip-flopper. The NDC flip and flop, so we can't trust them.
But I've talked about the superior record that we left behind.
Yeah.
How do you compare this with that?
Okay.
A superior record has been left behind. It's been destroyed. Didn't you grow better? Didn't you? You understand me? Mm-hmm. So it is. I would accept that.
Okay.
We have a lot of challenges in the economy. We are able to feed ourselves. Are we?
It's a huge challenge.
Even the cocoa industry that has been holding this country all these years is collapsing. Is it not true?
Mm-hmm.
And if the NDC and the leader are saying, when we get power, we will do all this. You are saying, no, you cannot do it. Why are you saying so? Why? You understand me? We are saying we're not happy about what's happening in the country.
Okay.
We are able to produce food to eat. The food production is even a problem. We are borrowing every day. In the past, it wasn't like that, was it?
Mm-hmm.
We want to change the narratives. We want to change it. You are saying it cannot be done. It means you don't believe in what public policy means.
Anybody that challenges the 24-hour economy, is that what you're telling them?
Yes, because as we sit here, you and I, we eat public policy, we drink public policy, and we breathe public policy. It does everything.
Okay.
So if I have political power, and I'm saying I'll change this, you are saying you cannot do it. It means you don't believe in public policy. Anybody who doubts that does not understand what public policy means.
Okay.
It affects everything. You understand me?
Yeah.
So, as I'm saying, so we eat public policy, we drink public policy, and we breathe public policy. Why am I saying so? The food you eat, public policy can change it, and that's affected.
Mm-hmm.
The water you drink, the air you breathe. So if we have a good leader who understands what public policy means, and he wants to use the public policy to change the environment, change the whole country, why doubt it? If you doubt it, then it means you don't understand what public policy means, pure and simple.
Doc, let me take you to an interesting area where you hear economists talk about it. Persons who sit back and say, well, whoever is going to win this election is going to be in a management problem or a management headache. It's got to do with our debts, and Ghana's debt exchange program has obviously postponed the debt repayment, and it's going to begin in some cases 2026. How do you think a future NDC government can maneuver the situation and still make Ghanaians happy?
It's not a cause of maneuvering. You see, we are in this situation because we did not take domestic revenue mobilization seriously. There is no substitute to domestic resource mobilization. Mobilizing financial resources from your own environment to provide services for the public is the best policy. And this can be done because we have a huge taxable capacity. Ghana is a wealthy nation, lots of resources. What you don't have is committed leaders, sincere leaders who do this for us. I'm sorry. So the debt issue came about because we did not focus on financial resource mobilization from our own environment.
Okay.
We let that started borrowing. And the type of borrowing we went in for, we didn't even understand it.
Oh, really?
Of course, you don't go in to borrow from the international market to finance your budget.
Oh, they label the NDC as carrying reckless borrowing. How would you describe the NPP's type of borrowing then?
NDC?
Yes, the NPP labeled the NDC as reckless borrowers.
No.
So how would you, what would be your tagging for this administration?
You cannot talk like that.
Okay.
Let me tell you. When the MPP left office, the revenue to GDP ratio was about 11.8%. The NDC carried out to 15.5% in 4 years. 3.7% growth rate in 4 years, the highest ever. So, by the end of 2012, the ratio was 15.5. Now, the MPP should tell us what is the ratio now, after how many years? If they had continued like that, if the macro situation had been so good,
yeah,
the ratio would have been about 22% now, would have been one of the best in emerging economies of this world. And if we had done that, if we had grown by 3.7% every 4 years, as happened under the NDC, we won't be borrowing money anywhere. You went and borrowed Eurobond. Eurobond is good money, but it's for a special purpose. You borrow to invest in high return projects. If the project can't pay for itself, you don't put in Eurobond money. Because in international banking, so we refer to that as bullet facility. Bullet because when you go in for Eurobond mine, you pay the interest every year. You understand? If it's 3-year maturity, every year you pay the interest, and then the 10th year you pay the principal. If the money was not put in a project that can earn enough to pay for itself, after 10 years, what are you going to do? You're going to ask for a refinancing because you cannot pay 1 billion, which has not been put in a project that was earning enough.
Okay.
We didn't do that. So how do you refer to us as reckless borrowers? We didn't do that, did we? You did that. And now we have a problem on our hands. We didn't do that, did we?
Okay.
It was not the bad money, but it was not put to proper use.
Look, another interesting area has got to do with the energy sector. And already we're seeing signs of what's happening there. And lights are going off erratically. Situation Ghanaians are concerned. The NDC did so much investment in that regard as well. And leaving office, we saw the impact of what the NDC did. But we seem to be tilting to an area whereby possibly we could be heading to a consistent erratic situation again. We all know well the situation. Money matters. Can NDC move its way out of a propaganda conversation that would happen? Because if it's not handled well and the NDC becomes or forms the next government and this situation is head on with the NDC and John Dramani Mahama, there will be a certain propaganda out there. How would the NDC deal with all of these situations?
Well, I want to believe that the NDC government under Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama will resolve this issue. They will hold it just like that, head on.
Head on?
I think so. Because they were doing it before they left office.
Okay.
Remember? 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Attempts were made. I want to believe that the experience has been gained even now, and I expect head-on solution straight away. And if you solve it like that, there will be no propaganda. A solution solved does not breed propaganda. It will be done. I believe that. There will be no propaganda because the solution will be found immediately. The NDC assumes office. I believe that.
The NDC is presenting hope to Ghanaians. Look, you're in the Ashanti region. This is your home region.
Yes.
Are you impressed with what you see around in terms of performance of this government? Are you impressed?
This government?
Roads, infrastructure, situation, the lives of the people. When you drive around, what do you see? What do you feel? What do people tell you?
I can talk about what we have done for the people of Ashanti.
Okay.
Yes. Any good thing that has happened here has come from NDC. The roads years ago were done by NDC. Look at the hospitals, the Kwabena Hospital, the Mo Hospital, the Aferi Hospital, the markets over here. Every good thing has come from NDC. I haven't had time to look at what's been going on now, because we are campaigning.
Okay.
I believe that NDC has done so much for Ashanti region. My own town, Kumawu, for 40 years there was no water. Now, under the NDC, we have water. Under the NDC, we have hospital. So we're happy.
Someone sends me a question. It says, Caesar, find out from Doc, our unemployment rate is super high, 14.7%. Thousands of students are graduating this month alone. Where do they go? What is the hope for the youth in an NDC government? Okay. Doc, this is a direct question. Do you have any answer to this individual listening? It says thousands are graduating from KNUST alone, the unemployment rate is super, raising in terms of the high figures, 14.7. Is there any hope for the youth today under an NDC
I feel
leadership?
depressed. Well, sorry to hear such comments.
You feel depressed?
Yes, because he's right. He's right. The employment situation has not been handled properly. Okay, because as a former finance minister, the public employment program comes under the budget.
Okay.
You understand? The budget, one has been approved by Parliament for government to use. It's been controlled by the funds that come in. You understand? So any program from the public employment section depends very much on the resources from the budget. That way, it depends on the availability of funds. You understand?
Yeah.
So it does not depend on the demand for job.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a situation where we'll have another scheme, say employment guarantee scheme.
Okay.
You see, how do trained people? They come out and their recruitment does not depend on why you train them.
Mm-hmm.
You train them because you need them.
Mm-hmm.
Demand. But you are saying you don't have funds, so I cannot employ you. That's the public employment program issues I'm talking about.
Okay.
That depends on the budget resources. If you don't have enough funds, we'll not employ you.
Okay.
But if we had employment guarantee scheme, that would depend very much on the demand. Once they have been trained, they must be employed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's a guarantee there.
Yeah.
We train doctors, we train nurses, they run away because we are unable to employ them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are all being taken care by the by the public employment program, PEP.
Mm-hmm.
We should have employment guarantee program or scheme
Okay.
that will take care of them as soon as they've been trained. And that will also bring in the issue of revenue. It means we must look at our domestic revenue mobilization seriously. It means if we have to look at our fiscal space, we will look at it.
Okay.
So that at any point in time, we'll be able to employ those who have been trained
Okay.
by looking at the fiscal space if you don't have enough funds. But if we continue to rely on the public employment program,
Yeah.
we will not be able to take care of these students, these lecturers, doctors who've been trained.
Mm-hmm.
Because that depends on the budget.
Okay.
But the budget has some constraints. We say, oh, we don't have the releases. Minister of Finance can only do, there's money.
Okay.
But we have been trained. So if you have money, you don't have money, something should be done. Other countries have what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Employment guarantee scheme must be looked at.
Well, if you just tune in, we'll be
Seriously.
having a cup of tea with Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, former finance minister and a key member of the NDC as well. This morning, he's been speaking to us on quite a number of interesting issues. We should be wrapping up with Doc. Doc, lots of Ghanaians are listening to you.
I want to,
Okay.
on the employment issue.
Okay.
The issue I raised is about the government.
Okay.
By private sector,
Yeah.
we should be able to grow the economy,
Mm-hmm.
create environment that will make them very viable, be able to work, and be able to employ people.
Okay.
That can only happen when they're also making money.
Mm-hmm.
We came, what I say, we developed the financial sector before we left. Between 2017 and now, about 400 of them have been closed down.
The financial sector.
The financial sector has been weakened. It was a source of strength for the economy.
Okay.
If you don't have banking industry that is strong, you have no economy.
Okay.
Not at all.
If you don't have a banking industry that is strong, you have no economy.
How do you fund projects? How do you provide resources for the economy to work? It's the blood of the economy. Money is the blood of the economy, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a blood of human beings. If you don't have a strong financial sector, you don't have an economy. It's been weakened. It's affecting the revenue mobilization. It's affecting private sector. They cannot recruit people if they're not doing well. When we are in power, we'll look at the financial sector and make sure it become very vibrant to be able to provide credit to the private sector for them to recruit.
Okay.
That's the private sector. The public one is what I've talked about. The government must begin to examine the public employment program, which depends on the budget.
Okay.
And think of another scheme that will depend on the demand. You have to produce them, you train them, you have to recruit them.
Okay.
But it will depend on the employment or the public employment program. That depends on your budget. That also depends on the available resources.
Okay.
I don't have resources I cannot employ.
Okay.
It means you are disappointing the public. You have trained people, you cannot employ them because the program you are following is wrong. So I'm saying that the public employment program must be examined. We need another scheme that will support the public employment program, employment guarantee scheme that will make it mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Mandatory to recruit because they've been trained by you. And that means, okay, do I have money? Look at the fiscal space. If you don't have money, create fiscal space. Look at the revenue mobilization issue again.
Okay.
So that they are recruited because it should be mandatory.
Doc, before you take leave of us, because I know you've got other engagement on our sister platform, Abusiana the 6.5, right after this particular conversation, what is your direct message to the electorate listening to you? What is your direct message to the first-time voter listening to you? What is that direct message to that individual who was part of a certain protest we have never seen in this country, the senior citizens? Well, we are the junior citizens. The senior citizens had to even protest at a point in time because of their pensions and all of that. What is that message to them come December 7th, 10 days from that particular day?
Well, I must appeal to all of them not to lose hope because it's a bright future for everybody. Things have gone bad. Yes, why should a pensioner lose his pension? It's happening to all of us.
Oh, Doc, you too.
Of course, I have companies, and they had invested government bonds. They've been taken away. Okay, so it has applied to everybody.
Okay.
But I'm saying that should not discourage anybody, because we have the resources. This is a country that's a huge resources.
Okay.
What we should pray for, that the Lord, our Creator, should give us a leader who will think about the nation and the people. Because the country has resources. We are the biggest gold producer in Africa. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
We are the number 6 gold producer in the whole world. Why are we poor? So Ghanaians should know that we have a very wealthy nation. we don't have a poor country, no. Ghanaians are poor because of the way we're managing our lives. But Ghana as a country is so wealthy. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
We are number one gold producer in Africa. Billions. We are number 6 in the whole world. Ghana should be smiling. And should affect all Ghanaians. But if we are in this situation, it's because we are not managing ourselves well. The leaders are not helping us. And as we go to polls, we should pray, Lord, touch our heart. Lead us to elect a leader who will think about us, not greedy people. They should sacrifice to see that Ghanaians will be better off, that our children will have a better future. It's going to be an election for the future, not for you and I.
2024.
Yes.
It's an election for the future.
For the future.
Not for today's generation.
No,
even.
for our children.
Okay.
So as you go to the pool, think about your children. If you don't have any children, think about that in future.
Okay.
I'll have children, and they should have a better life than I'm having now, because we have everything. What, gold? Our resource, our natural resources.
Lithium, bauxite.
Everything.
Everything we have.
So why are we poor? Can you answer that question?
Very difficult.
It's not difficult.
It's a thinking problem, leadership problem.
We don't love our nation.
Ghanaians.
Yes.
Okay.
Why have you destroyed the name of Ghana like that if we love Ghana? Why? Have you thought about it? We have everything.
Yeah.
Why can't we sacrifice a bit for Ghana to have good image outside, for our children to have better future? We went to first-class schools. We enjoyed our lives. Went to university. Everything was there. We have disappointed the nation. I'm one of them. You're also one of us.
Really?
Of course, yes. What we enjoyed, our children are not enjoying now. Go to university and see the number of students in the classroom.
So leadership has
leadership
failed Ghanaians.
We in that position have let Ghana down.
Okay.
I'm not excluded. I'm one of them. But I'm saying that those who, as we go to the polls, I was going to vote, we should pray to God to touch our heart. And to think that, yes, what I'm doing today is for the future. A future is what I'm going to vote for.
Okay.
Meaning, I'm going to vote for my children, my
Okay.
grandchildren, not for myself.
Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, former finance minister of the Republic of Ghana, senior citizen, and obviously a leading member within the NDC. Doc, we're grateful for your time this morning. We wish you well.
Thank you.
And we'll monitor all that will be happening, and also observing the situation you talk about. And what saddens me is that leadership has failed this country. And it says it's all of us. We need to do things differently. We've got December 7th to obviously change the mindset and have a reset. The show will continue. We'll be right back. Stick and stay with us. This is Ultimate.